Welcome to Pigeon Auction. Today we bring you a deep, detailed, documentary-style presentation about one of the most influential minds in the modern history of pigeon racing, the legendary analyst, writer, teacher, and champion fancier, Schaerlaeckens. If you enjoy these long-form videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Your support helps us bring more great racing pigeon stories to this channel. To understand Schaerlaeckens, you must first understand where he came from. He grew up in the border village of Nassau, a strange and unique place where Belgium and the Netherlands mix together like puzzle pieces. Pigeon racing was everywhere, in every neighborhood, on every street, in every backyard. Young was surrounded by pigeons from the moment he could walk, but unlike others, he didn't just feed the birds or clean the loft. He observed. He questioned. He wanted to know why some pigeons returned faster than others, why certain families kept winning, and why some fanciers with big reputations kept losing. Even as a teenager, he was already analyzing the sport on a deeper level. Before he became a well-known pigeon columnist, worked as a sports journalist covering boxing. This background shaped his style forever. From boxing, he learned how to study a fighter's strengths, weaknesses, timing, and discipline. When he shifted to pigeon writing, he applied the same analytical eye, but this time not to fighters, but to fanciers. His articles were sharp, honest, and often provocative. Many loved them, some hated them, but everyone read them, because wrote what others were afraid to say. One thing that made special was his refusal to accept excuses. He believed that pigeon racing is a sport of responsibility. When a fancier lost, wanted to know why, the real reason. Was it poor selection, bad loft management, poor feeding, a weak family of pigeons, or simply not enough discipline? He rejected all magical explanations. No fancier was unlucky for 20 years. No pigeon lost because of the wind every weekend, and no loft succeeded because of a secret medication. For the truth was always simple. Good pigeons win, bad pigeons lose, and it was the fancier's job to know the difference. This direct way of thinking made him a controversial figure, but also one of the most respected voices in the world. People realized that even when criticized, he did it with the goal of improving the sport. When he warned about over-medicating pigeons, people listened. When he explained why the eye sign theory was unreliable, fanciers started questioning old myths. When he exposed doping practices, federations reacted. Ad's voice was powerful because it was backed by results. At his own loft, Schaerlaeckens became a master of sprint and middle-distance racing. He was never interested in having hundreds of pigeons. Instead, he kept a small elite team. His selection was brutal. A pigeon had to prove itself within a short period. No second chances. Always said, "The basket tells the truth. If a bird couldn't win or consistently fly early, it didn't stay." This high-pressure system produced pigeons with incredible natural ability, intelligence, and homing instinct. Many fanciers who obtained birds from saw immediate success. His bloodlines became influential across Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, and even Asia. His breeding philosophy was simple but strict. He believed in strong base pairs, couples that produced good pigeons year after year. Once he found a great breeding pair, he protected it and never sold it. He studied the genetics of the best lofts in Europe, from Janssen to Clack to the speed lines of Belgium. Understood which families brought early speed, which brought velocity, and which brought consistency. He believed that great breeding is not about luck, but about combining the right characteristics and never compromising on quality. Another important part of success was his approach to feeding. He fed light mixtures early in the week and only increased the energy content as the race approached. He never believed in feeding heavy mixtures too early, because he felt it made pigeons slow and lazy. His feeding program was designed to keep the birds sharp, hungry, and motivated. He always reminded fanciers, a pigeon should want to fly, not be forced to fly. Ad also had simple but strict loft management rules: fresh air, dry floors, and enough space. No overcrowding. He always emphasized, a clean loft is the best medicine. Where other fanciers relied on antibiotics, Ad relied on hygiene and selection. He hated unnecessary treatments. His principle was simple: if a pigeon needs medication to stay healthy, it shouldn't be in the loft. This philosophy created a family of pigeons with strong natural immunity. One of the most impressive things about Ad Schaerlaeckens is how he influenced the sport worldwide. Many great modern champions openly say they learned from him. His articles, books, and observations helped thousands of fanciers improve their systems. When Ad explained the importance of widowhood motivation, the world listened. When he wrote about training methods, people changed their routines. When he said that many lofts win because they live in better positions, fanciers finally understood how geography affects results. Ad was always ahead of his time. He also had a unique ability to spot talent. Whether it was a loft, a family of pigeons, or a young fancier beginning to rise, Ad noticed before anyone else. Many of the big champions of today were identified early in Ad's writings. He saw patterns others missed. He recognized greatness years before the rest of the world woke up to it. As he grew older, Ad became a mentor to many in the sport. Fanciers visited him for advice, and he always spoke honestly, sometimes harshly, but always with wisdom. He believed that beginners should not buy expensive pigeons. Instead, he encouraged them to study, read, observe, and learn the basics before spending money. He always said, good pigeons are not expensive. Bad pigeons are expensive. Today, his influence remains enormous. Even though he retired from racing pigeons, his writings and philosophies continue to be shared, studied, and applied. His ideas helped modernize the sport and shaped an entire generation of pigeon enthusiasts. Ad Schaerlaeckens left behind more than trophies. He left knowledge, clarity, and a path for fanciers who want to win with honesty and intelligence. His story proves that pigeon racing is not just a hobby, but a science, a discipline, and a lifelong study. This documentary celebrates that legacy. The victory, the wisdom, the sharp mind, and the fearless pen of Ad Schaerlaeckens, a man who shaped the sport not only with his pigeons, but with his words, a man who believed in truth above everything, a man who changed pigeon racing forever.
As long as it isn't light for more than 10 hours. When these 10 hours are, doesn't matter. What about extra light? I have done that as well. The last 2 years I haven't done it anymore. For a couple of years I thought, this is it. Don't let the days get shorter. But this is also something that doesn't really make a difference. Medical treatment? I hardly ever go to a vet. I do have all products in storage, in case something was to happen. Before the racing season, we give the pigeons a thorough cure against canker. During the season, I hardly ever cure them against it. But when the birds are not really healthy, then you have to do something, of course. The old birds haven't had a cure against canker during the season. But before the season, I gave them a thorough cure against it, for 8 days. And next to that cure, you haven't given them anything? Those are the best years, when you don't have to give the birds any medicine during the season. I like nothing better than pigeons that fly extremely hard. That when you release them, they'll storm into the air. When they sit on the roof, they are fighting and flying up again, etc. You can't achieve all this with using medicine. Is that a mistake lots of fanciers make? I think that people who don't perform give more medicine than great champions, while the champion is on a suspicion of doing it. That's my opinion about the matter. That's my opinion about the matter. You mentioned before that the best system is no system. Is that right? Yes, you can't keep young birds going for 10 weeks with just one system. You have to change. In Holland, a lot of fanciers train their young birds. What do you think about that? For a couple of years, I too thought it was necessary. For a couple of years, I too gave my pigeons training tosses. For a couple of years. I gave them a toss once a week on Thursdays. I know people who train their pigeons almost every day. When that should be necessary in order to perform, it would be a very bad thing for pigeon sport in general. There are a lot of fanciers who don't have the opportunity to train their birds. But I have seen fanciers who haven't even got a car and who nevertheless perform very well. Here in St. Willibrord, almost no one is training their birds, and yet the racing is very good here.